Okay, hi everybody. Thanks for being here with us today. My name's Dave. I'm a information specialist here at McMaster Continuing Education. And so today we're going to be talking about our marketing programs and marketing adjacent programs. So we have a special guest here as well. The program manager is going to be here talking to us about several of these programs. So let's still waiting for some more people to join in, but we'll let them flow in and we'll just get the ball rolling here. So before we start, just want to point out McMaster University recognizes and acknowledges that it is located on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and Haudenosaunee nations and within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. So we're going to be talking about the following programs today. And you can see here's the list of what we're going to be covering. So it's going to be our marketing and the closely related digital marketing program, our full stack development program, our project management program, and then we're going to be talking also about the creative, critical, and design thinking and our essentials program. At this point, I'm going to pass it off to our program manager, Chris, who is the program manager for our marketing programs and a number of other programs as well, which he's going to be covering. So, Chris, over to you whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Dave. Hello, everybody. My name is Chris Rotolo. I'm a program manager, as has been said, with McMaster Continuing Education. I manage 4 of the programs that we're talking about today: marketing, digital marketing, full stack development, and project management. Our programs have a long history. I think really we're approaching multiple decades of helping people with that. And before being a program manager, I was an instructor here, and I can say I successfully saw a number of students apply what they've learned to achieve that career advancement, or in some cases, like to start a new career, right? All of our programs, McMaster's mission in general, include things like experiential learning and practical skills. So we often have people who can finish a course or a program, immediately start doing job tasks after that. So I'll start by speaking to you about our marketing program. Here is an overview of the program at McMaster Continuing Education. This program was designed in association with DeGroote School of Business, and the goal is to help professionals gain and enhance in-demand skills to succeed in the marketing profession or with marketing adjacent roles. So there are 3 marketing program pathways to choose from. You can pursue a certificate in marketing, which requires only 5 courses. You can add a few more courses and take the diploma route, or you can go all the way and gain a diploma in marketing with a digital marketing concentration and kind of get the best of both worlds from our marketing and digital marketing programs. I'll talk about digital marketing next. Again, all of our programs are delivered in 100% online format so that it meets your needs, scheduling, and learning preferences. Our online format generally will include weekly readings, facilitated discussion boards, videos, group and individual projects, assignments, and you can interact with your classmates and instructor each week. By completing one of our marketing credentials here, you receive a diploma or certificate from McMaster University Continuing Education. But in addition to this, we offer a competitive advantage where students who pursue a diploma in marketing have that option, as I mentioned, to complete their electives with a concentration in digital. As well, graduates from either the marketing diploma program or the marketing diploma with a digital marketing concentration are entitled to enter the Associate CMMP program for international certification relevant to their learning. You'll learn in this program how to leverage research to identify consumer needs and promotional positioning, how to develop and execute strategic marketing plans, how to communicate marketing plans, audits, analysis, tactics, how to conduct market research, buyer behavior segmentation, and how to analyze marketing metrics and campaign results. As well, we've recently launched a new elective course for the marketing program called Social Media Strategy and Management. This examines effective social media strategies and technologies to reach, engage, and influence social media users. Definitely an elective worth checking out. And if you want to learn more about the marketing program in general, you can check out the program and the course offerings by visiting our website. Here are some, here's like just kind of an overview of like the career opportunities and career outlook in marketing. It's generally being an area that is constantly hiring. You can see what a entry to mid-level job like this looks at. But these skills can be applied. There's the marketing industry and the agency world, etc. But they're also useful for entrepreneurs, people who are looking to develop a business. Marketing is a major portion of business success in most cases. Let's now dive into our digital marketing program. We've recently revised this program just last year, so it's pretty cutting edge, including appropriate uses of AI in relation to like SEO, SEM content marketing, like how to leverage that. So I think it's probably the most cutting edge digital marketing program in Canada. You have to determine that for yourself. We offer a certificate in digital marketing. It's 100% online. The certificate program requires you to complete 5 core courses. And there are so many great courses to choose from within the digital marketing program. Now, digital marketing, all of our programs, or not all of our programs, but all of the programs I'm talking to you about today are open enrollment, which means you can complete the credential, get the certificate or diploma, or, you know, you can look at it as like a family or buffet style, and you can just take the courses that you're interested in. So there are a number of great courses in our digital marketing program to choose from. And so, we discussed digital marketing strategy, content marketing, search engine optimization, just to name a few. I'm most proud of one fact of these 2 programs is our instructors are all legitimately experts that are currently working in the field. Sometimes they're speakers on the subject that they teach about. So you can kind of rest assured you're learning from the best of the best. I know you probably hear that a lot and it sounds like hyperbole, but in these 2 programs, I truly, actually, in all the programs I'm talking to you about today, I truly believe that we have amazing instructors. So when we launched digital marketing, the digital marketing certificate, what really differentiated it from other digital marketing programs is that it was very strategy focused. It was for existing and intermediate marketing professionals at the time, as digital marketing was just growing. It was going from 5 or 10% budgets to, it's now 80% of marketing budgets. So we now find ourselves with a student demographic that's a little younger, they're undergraduate, or maybe they're entrepreneurial. But generally, these aren't people that necessarily are marketing experts learning to learn about digital. These are people kind of wanting to start in digital. So, we're looking at more diverse and experiential learning opportunities. We address this need with the recent revision of the current digital marketing certificate. And what we did was we enriched both the content and the evaluation methods to ensure what we were doing is having career-ready skills that students doing this program could apply immediately. So we've added some like third-party practical credentials like Google and HubSpot and other third-party credentials, and experiential learning where you basically are running paid digital advertising campaigns. You're working with real clients doing real client work. And all of this was aimed at people who may be coming new to the marketing industry, having enhanced employability skills in the marketing field. So in fact, you see, if we can go on to the previous slide, if we can go back just a sec, you'll see a quote here from Rachel. I was fortunate enough to teach Rachel before becoming a program manager. This quote here was unsolicited. It was something that was posted on social media by the student. She was a great student, but one of many I've encountered that have felt this way about the program. She ended up taking 2 programs with McMaster, continuing at least so far 2. And it's like I said, it's a very common sentiment we hear about our digital marketing program in particular. So as I've said, it's a 5-course program. There are many great courses to choose from. And what you'll learn here is the latest, and I mean the latest, digital marketing trends, applications, platforms, and best practices. As I mentioned briefly, our revision this year included the use of generative AI and content creation, for example. You'll learn how to utilize marketing theories and tools to create very data-driven strategies. You'll learn the latest techniques and practices in all aspects of digital marketing, including social media, search engine, display, and other emerging platforms. Like, for example, you'll learn successful search engine marketing optimization tactics and creative content strategies. But I can't stress enough, you'll also learn effective digital data metrics and measurement. Finally, like, graduates from the digital marketing certificate are entitled to enter the Associated Certified Marketing Management Professionals program. And this is for certification from the International Institute of Marketing Professionals. So again, there was a time when the advertising industry was growing overall about 8% year over year. Now it ranges from stagnant to 2% growth, with all of that growth confined to digital. In other words, the digital marketing industry is growing and there is demand for talent. And there's demand for education from students as well, particularly related to social media. And we're able to satisfy that if that's what you're looking for. Let's discuss our newest program among these, which would be our full stack program. This teaches the core knowledge and in-demand skills to become a full stack developer for websites and online content. You can do it in months, right? Trainings provided across 3 disciplines in web design and development: UX UI design, front-end website development, and back-end server deployment and applications. How this works is each of those 3 areas has 3 courses associated with it. So you can get separate certificates in user experience and user interface design, front-end development, and back-end development. If you complete all 3 certificates, which are 3 courses each, so if you complete 9 courses, then you can receive a diploma in full stack development. Again, our full stack development courses are offered in a flexible online format. You can review the course content when it's most convenient for you and have the opportunity for discussions and webinars per week. Activities include reading, discussion boards, group and individual exercises, and interaction with your classmates. And here in this program, you'll learn how to examine user experience and web design with a web design process. You'll work in design programs like Adobe Creative Suite. You'll gain a basic understanding of HTML and CSS. You'll apply accessibility guidelines. You'll apply JavaScript frameworks and coding, and you'll learn how to use API software. All of this, and you'll learn how to work as part of a design and development team. And if you want to learn more about full stack, you can visit our full stack development page to learn more about the exciting opportunities that exist here. And a quick overview of full stack career and full stack opportunities. We see a lot of UI UX jobs, listed here, but of course, front end and back end development also have a number of opportunities available. And then McMaster Continuing Education also offers one of Canada's leading online project management training programs. Here you learn in-demand project management skills from PMP, that's Project Management Professional Certified Instructors. This is, pardon me, this is a certificate of completion in project management. You complete 3 10-week online courses. Those courses are Project Management Fundamentals, Leadership and Communication in Project Management, and Technical Implementation in Project Management. The project management courses are offered in the same flexible online format with the same learning activities that I've mentioned for other programs. Most interesting about this program is we're an authorized training partner of the Project Management Institute. The PMI is widely recognized internationally for best practices in project management. And what that partnership means is that our courses count towards the educational requirements required of the PMP certification, and so can help you as part of what's required to earn that credential. You'll learn in this program how to build a complete project plan, how to scope, cost, and schedule projects and the documents required to do so. You'll learn effective management, leadership, and communication strategies related to project management. And you'll learn about project execution and team coordination approaches, tools, and best practices. A career in project management is quite promising. I think I know a great deal of PMPs. They all seem to have great jobs, sometimes government contracting and stuff like that. If you're the type of person that likes to organize things, this might be a really awesome career opportunity for you. So thank you for letting me talk about my programs. Our information specialist, who you met at the start of the call, Dave, is going to expand on 2 programs for you and then talk a bit about how you can get started this spring. Thank you, and I'll leave it to you, Dave.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. So yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed listening to Chris's talk about these programs. I know whenever I hear him talk about, the programs that he is in charge of, I think like, maybe I should do that thing, So yeah. So I just will move on to talk about this program we have called Creative, Critical, and Design Thinking. So there's so for this program, the way it works is it's in our online learning format. So that is our online learning format being the most common one that we offer, which is asynchronous. So that means that you're not attending live classes. You are, going on and getting on there and taking part in discussions and handing in assignments, etc. And let's see. Yeah, so for this one, you have to complete all 3 courses, and then the 3 courses are listed on the right side here. So those being cultivating creative thinking, critical thinking for problem solving, and design thinking. And the kind of stuff that you're learning in this program is how to examine principles and models of creative, critical, and design thinking to effectively solve problems for users and stakeholders, how to execute innovative strategies in relation to problems and complex situations, how to reflect on and meaningfully communicate your experiences of creating and problem solving and designing, and how to identify, participate in, and support communities of practice committed to sustainable change. So yeah, obviously some really, some pretty, heady and widely applicable stuff. I think, definitely skills that are applicable in a lot of different settings. So yeah, if that's something that, you are thinking that you'd like to, really boost your expertise in and sort of make it official, give this program some thought. And if you'd like to know sort of more details and information about it, we do have course outlines on our website. That's true for all these programs. If you'd like to look more into them, just look up our course outlines to see details of what the courses entail. And if you have more questions, please reach out to us with those, and we will gladly help you out. So just to give you this brief overview of this is obviously pretty wide ranging. So but you can see here on the left side, these are kind of your top skills that get used in related roles. And then you have our top posted job titles in Ontario. You see some numbers here. Obviously, critical thinking, massive, and design thinking, creative thinking, are all things that employers are looking for. And in a lot of different postings, right? You can see a really wide variety of things here, all the way from account executives, digital marketing people, business analysts, project managers, UX people, et cetera, product managers, you name it. So, all right, let's move on and talk about essentials programs. So what you have here is okay, essentials are basically short courses, and they are courses. It's the kind of course that you sign up and you take. Maybe your employer pays for a bunch of people to take the same essentials course. That they tend to really, these are short courses. They usually last a couple of days. They're like about 6 hours or 6 or 7 hours of lecture time in total. Typically, there's shorter ones and longer ones, but yeah, and basically you just show up, you register for this course, and then it's going to be a Zoom class that you show up to at a particular time on particular days, usually like 2 days right next to each other for around 3 hours. And these are in a lot of different formats. So, or sorry, a lot of different subjects. I mean to say, it's only one format, but you can see the 6 essentials streams there and the left side. So yeah, we have tons of courses in business, in communication, innovation, leadership, productivity, and teamwork. So and there's honestly, there's courses too that don't really fit that well into any of these categories that I don't know, you maybe never think of, like but if you check them out on our website, you will definitely find some really interesting stuff, and there's something there for just about everyone. So I will also mention that with these courses, the way they work is that if you want to focus on a specific area, then you can take a certain number of courses and then get a certificate, like that is in that specific area, or you can get a multi profession. I forget the name of it right now, but sort of a multi-stream credential kind of thing that is made up of subjects from more than one heading there. So basically, lots of good options, just depending on what you want to do. Very customizable, and yeah, you can potentially earn a certificate, which is delivered in the form of a micro credential, as it says on this slide here. All right. And so yeah, for career options, obviously, it's never, these aren't really courses that are meant to, like, you like build a new career on one or a few of these courses. Really, they're really more meant to, get you, just for your professional development within, your current area of expertise, or the area that you're trying to sort of shift into at work or whatever, or maybe you just need a little boost on top of what you have to land your next job or whatever. But these are so yeah, and that's kind of summarized in this box that you're looking at now. And yeah, obviously really good job prospects for that, because these are all really central and important skills that are used just about everywhere. So Yeah, that's awesome. So okay, I'm gonna then just quickly go over here our micro credentials and you know, pardon my if you're looking at my video feed, you'll see my cat joining me to help me present here. But anyways, so yeah, for micro credentials, what you're looking just to give you a quick overview of what those are. When you earn a micro credential with us, the way it currently works, at least, is you're still earning a traditional credential with McMaster that would have existed before micro credentials. So some kind of certificate, a certificate of completion, or something like that. A micro credential is basically just the way a program is delivered. So instead of getting a piece of paper mailed to you or like a PDF emailed to you, a micro credential is this blockchain certified, like ultra secure digital item that it gets sent to you, you get access to it, and you can put it on your LinkedIn, on your digital resume, on your personal website, that sort of thing. And it's just this thing that employers recognize as like, oh yeah, this is like super legit. It's not something that you can just, make up in Photoshop or something like that. And another thing about it that's pretty neat is that you can, that sort of has this over and above a traditional credential is that it actually lists out all of the detail or like a nice summary of the details of what you learned in earning that credential. So yeah, it kind of has that going for it that it allows employers or whoever prospective employers whoever is looking to sort of get more information. So that's kind of the overview of what micro credentials are and several programs that we offer, including some of the ones we've covered in this presentation are delivered as micro credentials. So that is what that is all about. So I'm just gonna quickly run through some FAQs, questions that were often asked, and this is some important information for you to know if you're wondering about, okay, so like maybe I'm interested in the program, how do I actually enroll? What is all involved in this? How do I pay for it? Like these are the kind of questions I'm going to spend the next few minutes talking about. So I'm actually going to flip the order of these two here. So let's do first talk about how do I enroll. Okay, so all the programs that we've talked about today, they have open enrollment. So I'm going to bring in I'm going to switch over to my browser here, and I'm just going to show you exactly what we're talking about here. So let's say you want to enroll in digital marketing. That was the most popular one in the survey, right? So if you're wanting to enroll in digital marketing, you're probably going to want to start with DMK 101, Fundamentals of Digital Marketing. Okay, so to join this course, you'll see that what I did just to go over how we got here, right? If you would be looking at all programs, right? And then you would, or maybe you would, go straight to marketing and communications, right? And you would find the program that you're interested in. Again, you don't have to commit to any of these programs if you don't want to. You could take a scatter shot at different courses for different programs, but if you'd like to work towards a certificate, so for certificate in digital marketing, you have to complete all 5 of these courses. Makes sense to start with fundamentals of digital marketing. So you would open this up. And then you'll see there's an available section here. So you see we have an online section of DMK 101 starting on May 6th, runs until July 28th. It's in our online format. And if you want to be reminded of what online format means, you can click on our learning formats here, and the definitions are right here. Okay, that if you didn't see, I clicked on that kind of quickly, but the learning formats are on the right side here and that's on every course page and every program page. So yeah, and so yeah, online is that asynchronous format. When you click on these tiles, you'll see much more information pop up. And so yeah, if you decide, yep, that's the one for me, and there's more info when you click it open here, you just add to cart, off to the races. Once you're done picking out your courses, you just go into your cart and you say proceed to checkout, and that's going to take you through an account creation process if you're a new student. If you're not a new student, it'll just have you sign in with your existing account. Gives you both options. Okay. So that is how you register. Now, how do I begin my course? That's our next question, right? Well, what's going to happen when you register is you're going to get a series of emails that have different information. You just need to follow the instructions in those emails. But eventually what's going to happen is that it's going to bring you to one that says, okay, you need to now depend. I don't want to get into too many details here because it's different depending on what kind of course you're taking. We talked about essentials in this presentation, so there's some differences depending on whether you are enrolling in, say, a marketing course versus an essentials course. But you're going to get instructions like telling you exactly what to do and emails kind of guiding you appropriately. But for most courses, pretty much all courses that are not essentials courses, the way you begin your course is you'll eventually activate your Mac ID. And once you've done that, you will be able to log into Avenue to Learn, which is our main learning platform. And you get a link to this page. You'll click here where it says login with Office 365, and you will use your McMaster email address and the password for your account to log in here. This is where you access all of your course content. For essentials courses are different. Those are just Zoom classes that you will just get Zoom links usually 3 days before the course is set to begin. So yeah, those are basically the two main options. If it differs from that at all, you'll get specific instructions on how so. But that's just to kind of give you an idea of what will be the case for most of you. So the next question that we get a lot is, what is the cost? Okay, so again, going back to our website, you can see here this course costs $798.48. The total cost for this program is going to be the sum total of those fees. And you can see these ones that are available right now cost the same. And that is typically the case for courses that share a course code. So like the DMK, the first 3 letters. Okay. And that now sometimes some courses do involve textbook fees. Many courses do not, by the way, but some courses do have textbook fees for sure. Also any course that you see that has 3.0 units, that yellow tag on it, that tag just means that it is a full, it's worth full academic credit equivalent to something at McMaster University. And it means that the first time you register for one of those as a continuing ed student, you're going to get charged an additional $39. That's the first time only. The $39 isn't charged again after your first course. And that would not be the case for essentials courses because they're not worth that full academic credit. I believe the next one is okay. Well, what is the duration? So basically, you can see here, like a typical course. This one's running from May 6th to July 28th. That's a pretty typical duration for one course. In order to do to complete this certificate in digital marketing, you need to complete all 5. So the duration really comes down to like, what can you handle, right? And also what makes sense, you don't want to, try to be too ambitious and load yourself up with courses that you haven't really gained the foundations for yet. So like if you're totally new to digital marketing, like you should probably take this course by itself first, or by itself among digital marketing courses, and then move on to the next ones. But let's say you're already a pro in digital marketing, you know all this stuff, and you're just taking it because you need a credential for something. Well, then you could take you could take as many courses at a time as you can handle. So you'll see that, if we look at some other courses here, they're all going to be offered at the same time, right? Or roughly the same time. So that's how, and that is really what determines the duration. So basically it's however fast you can get through the required courses. So 5 programs in this case. So, some students, get through these in like 2 terms. I don't know if anybody's gotten through in one term, but you know, it's theoretically possible if they're available. But speaking of availability, segue, why are certain courses showing as unavailable? Well, we get this question a lot, and it's just because no worries. It just means that they're not available to enroll right now. But if you take a look at there's a schedule tab on each program page. So, you know, taking a look at the schedule tab, you'll see you know, here we don't have for into the future after spring summer 2024 yet. We will have those posted by like early to mid July. But for now, you can look back at the last year and kind of see like, okay, I can see that like this one was offered in the fall before. It's not a guarantee that's going to be offered in the fall, but like, you know, often, you know, that'll often be the case. So yeah, you can kind of use that to get a sense of things, and you know, a little bit later in the year, you'll be able to see like, oh yeah, this is going to be available coming up in the future. So just know that that schedule tab is there, and if you see something currently not available, it doesn't mean that it's, you know, that it's gone forever or something like that. It just means that you can't enroll for it right now. It also could mean that it's just not it's just full at the moment, even if it is running. So quickly, let's run through our financial support options. So the main one I want to highlight here is the McMaster bursary for part-time students. So maybe you're sitting through this whole presentation and you're thinking, great, I am going to apply with OSAP, good old trusty OSAP. Well, OSAP is actually not eligible for our courses are not eligible for OSAP. Our academic courses, at least the vast majority of courses that we offer, are not eligible, but we do have these alternative funding options. And the big one being the McMaster bursary for part-time students / McMaster Continuing Education Award. To clarify, despite the name, you do not actually need to be taking a part-time schedule in order to qualify for this. So a full-time schedule is considered three or more courses at once. So if you're taking that, you're considered a full-time, you're considered a full-time student, but you can still apply for the part-time bursary. It's just the way it is. So you can do that, and that is the requirements for that are fairly they're kind of similar-ish to OSAP. So that's the main one that we point people to. And it's the only bursary / scholarship that is available for continue ed programs. So definitely you should look into that one if you're looking for financial support. There's also these other programs. These are, you know, other government programs, right? Canada Ontario Job Grant, that's done through employers. Better Jobs Ontario, that is sort of a complicated one, but potentially incredibly good if you can get it. It covers everything. It can even potentially cover living expenses if you qualify, but there are, you know, steep and strict qualifications for it, and it is time consuming to apply for. But yeah, if you can get it, it's phenomenal. Windmill microlending, that is for newcomers coming in with credentials that you know, aren't eligible in Canada. So yeah, look into any and all of these options. Bursary for part-time students is probably your first stop, particularly if you're an Ontario resident. Okay, how to register, I kind of went over this already, but I will just mention, people are like, well, what are the, you know, what do you need? What do you need from me, right? And it's just, you just need to, really just should have a high school education. If you don't have a high school education, but you've been out of school for a few years, that's okay too. That's what mature student means. And even then we make exceptions. So virtually anyone can enroll. As far as English proficiency is concerned, you know, like we're talking about, all the courses we talked about today have open enrollment. So that means open enrollment means you don't have to send us anything. You just, like I showed you, you just put courses in your shopping cart and check out. So it's basically on you to make sure that, you know, use your best judgment in making sure that your English proficiency is where it should be for our courses. But if you have any concerns and you're not really sure about that, you can check, if you look around, you poke around on our website. In fact, I can actually just show you. Let's see here. I'm just gonna Google, I think, McMaster English Proficiency, right? And yeah, so this is a Bing search because I did this presentation in Edge, but this should be the right. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so basically you just find that page. Just Google or Bing McMaster English Proficiency. You'll find this page, and this page has test scores. So you can just use that as a reference, but it talks about needing to submit things and stuff. You don't need to do any of that for our open enrollment programs. Thanks everyone so much for joining us today. If you're still looking at my screen here, I will show you. Let's see, on our website where you can find, here's our contact us form. So just anywhere on our website, you can find this top banner. Just go to contact us. This leads to a form that you can fill out, and this is answered by me and my colleagues who will get back to you within a couple business days with answers to all your questions or concerns. So thanks again, everybody, for being here, and have a wonderful rest of your day.